As we learn about our bodies, we tend to wonder what is normal and what isn't. That goes for our physical and mental traits. So you may have wondered, am I masturbating too much? It's a worthwhile question to ask. Everyone is different, but sometimes when you recognize that your habits might be a little extreme, it's good to pause and really think about it. That being said, if you do find yourself relating to these points, just know that there's nothing to be ashamed of. This topic is important enough to discuss with a qualified professional. If you're concerned about your habit and you want to know more about it, you're on the right track, so let's get into it. When is it too much? There are a lot of factors that influence your sex drive. For example, how well you sleep, how much you exercise, and of course, your hormones. Your hormones can sometimes feel like they're working against you. Maybe you don't want to be thinking about sex constantly, but your hormones just won't give you a break. But trying to fight your hormones isn't really an option either. Hormones are chemicals, and their balance can greatly influence your emotions and behavior. Trying to influence your hormones would involve medication, which as a teenager could stunt your development. But your hormones making you want to masturbate isn't a bad thing. It's natural, and according to a study published in Archives of Sexual Behavior, early masturbation experience won't damage your development and adjustment into adulthood. You might already know, on an instinctual level, if you're masturbating too much. If you're doing it multiple times a day, repeatedly to the point that it feels like your body can't keep up, you're probably doing it too much. If it's disrupting your life and you find yourself planning your day around when you can masturbate, you're definitely doing it too much. It affects your baseline happiness. During COVID-19, researchers looked into how it affected people's habits. Interestingly, they found that sexual desire and arousal were no longer the only or even the main motivators for masturbation. Both men and women would masturbate as a relief from anxiety, depression, and boredom. The issue, however, is that when you are secluded and turning to a specific action or substance for relief, you could become addicted, especially if, after masturbating, you're still bored or anxious. Over time, you might find yourself feeling distracted or frustrated as you constantly search for a time and place to masturbate. When you start to rely on masturbation to feel happy, or at least normal, your baseline happiness has shifted. Your level of happiness shouldn't depend on a substance. We see this with addicts where they have to start their day with a cigarette or weed, or in this case, masturbation. Sure, some habits can help you feel like you're ready for the day, but you shouldn't feel frustrated or hollow until the habit has been fulfilled. Your relationship with sex will change. This is a good way to test if you're masturbating too much. If you're in a relationship and you have a preference for masturbating rather than intercourse, it could be that the sex isn't great or you're desensitized through masturbation. You might feel too lazy for sex if you've got your mind used to the instant gratification of porn and masturbation. This could hold a lot of negative implications for future relationships. Sexual satisfaction is a building block of relationship satisfaction for many people. Being unable to practice intimacy with your partner can make you and your partner more stressed. And if anxiety and stress are triggers for your masturbation habit, it could become a seemingly unending cycle. This scenario only really applies to those who really do masturbate too much. Depending on what your relationship is like, masturbation while in a relationship is common. People have different libidos, and sometimes schedules can push couples to miss out on sex for weeks at a time. But if you are repeatedly missing out on sex because of masturbation, you're probably doing it too much. Masturbating more doesn't help. We've mentioned it before, but there is a connection between your mental state and your intention to masturbate. It feels good. So, when men in particular are feeling negative emotions, they might masturbate to release endorphins and dopamine. But what we know is that this is a temporary fix. The more you rely on masturbating for this relief, the more you will want to masturbate. If anything, it could make you feel worse. Many people feel guilty for masturbating, whether it's because of your religion, the way you were raised, or your own personal feelings. You may have felt wrong for masturbating. If you are a chronic masturbator, but you feel constant guilt over it, it could lead you down a dark path of severe depression and poor self esteem. And as we've learned, masturbation is what some people do to ease their depression. So masturbating more won't help you. Like with any compulsive habit, the enjoyment of it diminishes over time. Start by trying to limit your time masturbating as much as possible. Try to look out for the signs that trigger your habit. This might involve deleting apps or being more selective with the kinds of movies and shows you watch. As a chronic masturbator, you might be surprised by how many other habits are influenced by your masturbation habit. It can be difficult to admit that you might have a problem, especially with something as personal as your masturbation habits. Remember, if you're young and experiencing hormones at a level you never have before, it'll probably slow down eventually. Just try not to become dependent on masturbating. But if you're older and have successfully navigated through puberty, maybe consider some methods to help you slow down, like finding distractions and spending more time socializing. Your habit becoming chronic could be tied to another problem like depression or anxiety. Again, speaking to a professional therapist about this could change your life. Could you relate to this struggle? If you have any experience or advice that helped you, whether it was to eliminate guilt or to slow down your chronic habit, you can help a lot of people by sharing your advice in the comments below. Okay, that's all for today, Psych2Goers. If you found this video helpful, let us know by leaving a like and subscribe to Psych2Go for more videos. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.